And here we are live, New Twist Radio YouTube channel. I wasn't ready for the thing to come up all right away. And there's our Dot Hunter. I wasn't completely ready for the whole thing. It happened so fast. It's been a little while, but we're back on. Here we are back on Intelligent Ignorance here on New Twist Radio's YouTube channel. Be sure you subscribe to the New Twist Radio YouTube channel before you leave up out of here today. Just hit that subscribe button.
Right.
Because we're just trying to do some big things here, and right now it's just been like we're coming to the end, right? We're coming to the end of the year. Today is what we call the saying goodbye to 2020, man. I mean, this is probably going to be a year that none of us are ever soon going to forget.
You got
Okay.
that right.
We have so much that happened, so much going on, so much to look forward to, so much to look back on. And this is what we're doing here on the show. But without further ado, my man R. Hunter is already here in the building. What's going on, R. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
What's good, man? It's the last episode of Intelligent Ignorance in 2020. It feels like we just came back this year.
We did. We did. I was just about to say, like, we just came back, and it's been like it's been good to be back, right? It's been very good to be back. We're going to recap 2020 in a sense as much as we can. We're going to talk about some of the music that came out, some of the movies, maybe the TV shows. We got a special You Big Dummy Award to give out today.
Yeah.
And stuff that we're going to leave in 2020, not taking with us into 2021, which I still got to think about because there's so much that you want to leave. But just trying to leave one thing. But you know how we do here on Intelligent Ignorance. We always say it's one thing, but it ends up being six. So
True.
But with that being said, it's been a couple weeks since we did a show, so I just want to add, like I always do on all the shows here on New Twist Radio. Brother Ryan, how have you been, man?
Man, I just been busy. I've been in a good way. I've been busy in a good way, working on so many things, laying that foundation for 2021. And I hate to say it that way, and I'm only saying it that way because it's the end of the year.
Right.
But laying the foundation for what comes next, with New Twist Radio, for what comes next with Block Suite. We'll talk more about that. What comes next with Teas with Attitude. And the launch of the standalone line, Heart and Hustle, which obviously I'm rocking right now.
Yes,
Boom, gotta get that out there. But I've been so busy, and it's a good busy, and I'm excited. I'm happy for everything that is transpired over the last few months, good and bad. I was just having a conversation about the whole postal debacle. And we're getting back. As you can see, last time I was on here, I had a beard, and I don't have a beard right now. A little stubble coming back in, but I
good reason for that.
Definitely a good reason. I was casted to have a role in an upcoming episode of True Conviction on the ID channel. Episode airs.
A lot of people watch that channel too.
Yeah. Episode airs February 17th, 2021. So make sure y'all check it out, 10 p.m. I will send out the reminders just so y'all can check out your boy on the small screen, coming to a big screen near you.
Oh, it's going to be happening. Look, listen. Shout out to my man R. Man. So I just want to put this out there. Like, there's been some people might say, like, I don't think we've ever explained it for the show. We've done this show for like 3 years at least.
Years,
right? Yeah. Give and take some time off. We've never explained like who we are, like how we know each other, how we ended up doing this. And
man, we explained that.
We did.
They know.
Okay.
They know. I think the people know. I think you was gonna recap on that, but no. Look. It's because it's been what? It's been 20. Damn, I was about to say 20 years. It's been what? 18 years?
Close to 20 years.
18 years.
I've been. What's this? 2020, right? It's close to 20 years. Let's put it that way.
18, at least 18 years. And between baseball, radio, everything. We live together. We ride together. We die together. Bad boys for life.
Sure, boys for life. So, but yeah, we've gotten together on many different occasions for many different walks of life.
Right.
But as we close out 2020 and going into 2021, I just want to let you know that I appreciate um, the friend that you have been to me, the business partner that you have been to me, the advice giver, and all like that. I just want to give you some flowers right now while you're here. I ain't gonna wait till you're gone to give you your flowers. Not saying you're gonna leave before me because you're not. I'm gonna be going first. I'm just saying that's how this
Look,
go. I'm just
I hope not. But what's the Winnie the Pooh thing? I can't even remember it. But
I don't know.
I
Only
appreciate
thing
it,
I
man.
remember Winnie the Pooh
It's
says, "Oh bother." That's all I remember.
but no, man, I appreciate it, man, because it's been almost 2 decades, and
Wow, when you put it
you
like
you
that,
have
yeah.
you have been there. You have been there for the highest of my highs, the lowest of my lows, and you have been there to help me through it all as I need it.
Mhm.
And we're only on the path up, so
Absolutely.
we're gonna keep that train going.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to give everybody, the opportunity to, if you want to comment on anything we said or anything that we're talking about here, I should say, on intelligent ignorance. You can also hit us up at 215-486-0335. The number's down there on the bottom of the screen, scrolling by if you want to check that out.
Freaking
That enters you into our contest, our awards, everything that gets you first dibs. I mean, if you were a part of it when we first got that number together, you had an opportunity to win up to $75 in Amazon gift cards prior to Christmas. So, you definitely want to be a part of that.
yeah.
I'll give you the number again, 215-486-0335. Um,
Yo, you know what? Peep this. So,
talk
even
to
though we did the challenge
me.
and we both successfully completed the challenge, I
Yes,
told you in advance, I bought gift cards.
you did.
So, what I'm gonna do right now is anybody who joins our community between now and our next episode in 2021,
No,
we are going to
no,
give
no, no, no,
away.
no. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Okay, I'll let you finish, but how about between now and the end of the show?
Uh,
No?
I
Okay.
don't think we
Go
I
ahead.
don't think we got out enough notice, but I want to give it some time so we can build up
Well, I'm sure
because
there's people
these
watching that's
people
not part of the community yet.
these people are going to tell people, "Hey, lock in and make sure you watch the next episode to see who won."
Man,
Cuz
you so smart.
you got to watch to see who wins.
You smart.
So,
You smart.
between now and our next episode of Intelligent Ignorance, which airs in 2021 and it will be live, ladies and gentlemen, sign up for our community. Every person who signs up gets an entry.
Yes.
And everybody who's already signed up already has an entry. We are going to allow everybody but myself, because I'm in the community already,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
everybody but
I'm
me
not. Yeah, me too. I'm
has
in the
the
middle too.
ability to win. So make sure you text that number right now and send the word R dot giveaway. That's the only way you're going to. You got to
Three
send
R
R dot giveaway. You
DOT
just put it
giveaway.
all together. RDOT giveaway. Put it
Okay.
all together. R dot giveaway. Boom. Text it 215-486-0335 and lock in.
Absolutely. So let's get
Miss
into it.
Watson is not allowed to win because I see
Oh,
she already commented asking could she win. She is not allowed to win.
well, you know what's funny? I usually allow people that like when I do contests, I only say to people that are part of the show in which I've announced the contest.
I
Like you
dig
and
it.
I wouldn't be eligible.
I dig it. Okay, well, eligibility
But
reinstated.
but
Eligibility reinstated.
I was going to say you announced the contest, so it's your rules.
Eligibility reinstated.
Well, there you have it. Cool. Um, well, let's get into the show because we're saying goodbye to 2020. I don't know how long we're going to be saying goodbye to it. There's only a couple days left here in
Yeah,
2020.
yeah.
It's been a doozy of a year to say the least. The obvious things: the pandemic, the presidential election, the Kobe Bryant's death, Chadwick Boseman's death, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, I don't want to harp on the people that we lost, right? But that's really with 2020, that's really kind of been the focus of the people that we lost through 2020. You know, the it's been crazy. You know what I mean? It's just been crazy with all the people that we've lost throughout the year. But we're going to also try to find some of the good things from 2020, because 2020 hasn't been all bad. Because really, the whole world went through this pandemic. It was a worldwide pandemic,
Global
and
pandemic.
I mean, there's been over, I think in the United States, we just hit 330,000 deaths, right? But there are survivors too. Let's not
Right.
forget the people that were able to fight, and the people that were helping them fight, the frontline workers, everyone that was, the doctors and nurses and things like that, people that were risking their own lives to help other people. There were some doctors that have lost their lives. I just read about a doctor that lost his life in October. Um,
Yeah.
Helping people, with their thing. So, with all that being said, we want to talk about some movies, we want to talk about some music and all like that. And but we also have the Big Dummy Award. That's probably like my favorite. Do you want to do that now? Or you want to do that later? The Big Dummy Award. How you want to do that?
Well, you know what? I'm a knockout because we already kind of got on some of those RIPS and the goodbyes that we had to say for 2020. I want to knock out the ones that I can think of off the top of my head,
Okay.
and then we get into the big dummy. Definitely, Kobe. Man, that was a huge loss
And that,
for
not only
like
was it a huge loss, but if you're here in Philadelphia, it
right
came the day after the Lakers were in Philadelphia playing a game where LeBron surpassed Kobe on the
Kobe.
all-time
Right.
scoring record. Kobe
Yeah.
texted him that night. Kobe was watching the game.
Right.
The next day, we find out Kobe Bryant lost, and his daughter Gianna, along with 6 other people. I don't know their names. Sorry. They all perished in in a horrible helicopter crash. Man, it just just thinking about it, just man, I can
Man,
remember. It feels like it was not that long ago. I can
I
remember
would.
sitting on the edge of the bed, people calling me and stuff like I can remember. It's crazy.
I remember it. Kobe being Bryant, Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, uh, one of my childhood idols, and I'm a dork, Alex Trebek,
Oh
uh,
yeah, Alex, how can I forget?
Naya Rivera, uh, Cliff Robinson, John Lewis.
Robinson, right? John
Uh,
Lewis. Yes.
man, it's Jerry Stiller. Like it's
That's a funny dude.
yo, Jerry
Dude, man.
was hilarious. I don't, and then then the ones that sparked some of the things that we saw, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Like we can't let those names die off in 2020, even though we're saying goodbye to 2020, because those names sparked the movement that helped change the world in a global pandemic.
Absolutely.
But speaking of that last name, Breonna Taylor, that leads us right into the big dummy of 2020.
The Big Dummy Award of 2020 being brought to you by Block Suite. Check out blocksuite.com in 2021. But you have a Big Dummy Award there, and I'm going to go ahead and let you get into that.
Oh man, I want to say that this man is very, very deserving of the big dummy. Big dummy.
Let's not forget you dabbed at the end of last show.
But no, like the big dummy award of 2020 goes to Daniel Cameron. If you don't know who Daniel Cameron is, he is a politician out of Kentucky. He's actually the attorney general in Kentucky. Black man, Republican, proud Trump supporter. He was a huge part of the group that acquitted the gentleman. I don't even want to call him gentlemen, of the murderers of Breonna Taylor. And I don't think you can get any dumber than what went on with the case out in Kentucky regarding Breonna Taylor. The individuals were, I hate to even call it a conviction, because the walls in the apartment got more justice than Breonna Taylor did.
The people that were not killed were more so of the focus, it seems, in that whole situation.
I mean, it was inanimate objects. I'm confused as how the wall got more justice than
Okay.
Breonna Taylor did. It just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense.
I was going to tell you why, but I don't want to offend anybody today. I'm in the mood to not offend anybody today.
And that's my thing,
Just
you
use your
know.
context clues.
But I also feel like we've been nice enough as people, and we have continually said, you know, let's show mercy. Let's not push and let's not offend because that's what they expect of us. Sometimes you just got to give them what they want. I'm not going to do it today, but it is coming. It is coming. The piece is coming on blacksuite.com. It'll be coming soon. You'll know when it's released. But I just Daniel Cameron, Kentucky Attorney General, he is my big dummy of 2020.
Man, there's so many places I could go with my big dummy of 2021. I don't even remember the guy's name because I really didn't want to remember his name. But the man that I shouldn't even call him a man. The monster that held his knee to George Floyd's neck. That's my big. I mean, like, that's the nicest way I can put it. It's by
Right.
calling him a dummy. That's the nicest way I can put it. And I don't necessarily want to be nice to that man, but for the sake of the show, that's what I'm gonna put it. He's my big dummy of 2020. And you know, and that's really all I'm gonna say about it. Like, I'm not even. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't want to give him that much of a, that much of my
So
time.
so we'll say the co-big dummies of the year: Derek Chauvin, who was the officer out there in Minnesota that that killed Big Floyd. Look, so that's
George Floyd.
Big Floyd. Big Floyd. That was the name on the street. Big Floyd.
Okay. Well, he was definitely a big dude.
That was a big dude.
He's a big guy.
But
and unfortunately, when that happens, a lot of times it's the fear of the size and the skin color that causes people to be scared, really. You know what I mean?
well, but we won't even get into all of that because remember, all of the reports came out that they both did security together at nightclubs, so he knew who he was. It wasn't something where it was, oh, I'm so scared and this big black man is dangerous, who I don't know, and I don't know what type of power he possesses. You know exactly who he is. You know that man. Like, come on, don't do that. You know that man.
You messed that up. But however,
yeah, let's get on to the fun stuff.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, let's do. But real quick, I was going to say what came from that. Is something that I hope continues on into 2021 and beyond. We saw for a moment in time, at least, we saw unity amongst people. Fighting for a lot of the same type of for the same thing. And we hope that continues on. And I know a lot had to do with the administration, and people, kind of wanted to stick it to the administration. And then now we have a new administration coming in. And I hope that energy that people have continues, and don't just let the energy go away because we got a new president in office. And keep that same energy, because we got to get things done in 2021. That's the motto in 2021. Let's get things done. Get things done in 2021. That's what I'm gonna call it. I like that. I just made that up in my head. Copywritten already.
Trademark, copyright, no infringement.
Exactly. But that's your Big Dummy Award, brought to you by Block Suite. Make sure you check out blocksuite.com in 2021. All right, big things going on.
Coming soon.
And make sure you subscribe to the New Tours Radio YouTube channel right now, even while you're sitting here right now. We definitely want to do that. Yes, absolutely. The unity that evolves must continue. Absolutely, because you can't get anything done. One of the most powerful lines in any movie I've ever seen. Okay, it's Big Mama, not Big Mama's house, but they called her Big Mama in Soul Food, where she said, you know, you got your fingers, and you got your fists. This and this packs a mighty blow. This gets people looking. This gets people's attention. All right, that's not what the quote was, but basically that's how I quoted it. All right.
Look, I remember that line. I remember it.
Absolutely. Remember, hit us up. Join the community, 215-486-0335. Let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. I'm gonna let you pick up my
man, let's have some fun.
And I'm gonna let you have the floor.
Where you want to go with it? I want to let's talk about some of the 2020 music, man. Let's talk about some of the good music that we got this year.
Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. So I don't know where you want to start because we didn't discuss where we're going to start, but I did want to mention this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Kanye gospel album come out in 2020? The first, because I know he just released another one, but then the first one.
I don't think the first one was 2020. I think the second one was 2020.
Then I'm not talking about that one. I thought because I remember talking about it at baseball practice, but okay, then let's talk. Let's go for it. I'm gonna let you have the floor. Like
you're talking about the Sunday service one, right?
Yes.
I believe that was 2019, and then I believe the second album.
That one just came out like last week or Christmas Day or something like that. Something crazy.
Is another one?
Something he just dropped something. Yeah.
Look, I'm behind because I've been on Benny the Butcher for the last since the album dropped. Okay. Before the album dropped, but this album, man, that's got my album of the year. And Burden of Proof is 96 Reasonable Doubt. Like that's the weight class I put it in.
Well, their whole squad is kind of, that whole squad is pretty deep. One of my, I don't know if it's the album of the year, but one of my favorite albums that came out this year actually came out maybe about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. The Busta Rhymes album. That was a really good album. There was a really good R&B album that came out as well that I like.
Bus is up there for me. That album is up there for me.
Absolutely up there for me.
It's in my top 5 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some mixed feelings about the album, but I felt like the album was pretty good. But I think music in 2021 hit a, how would you say, there's the mixture of the old and the new. I believe a lot of the people that were in our era decided that they were going to drop some music, and not even the 5-7 track albums. Like they dropped albums that were
like full album.
Eminem dropped a double. Well, I can't call it a double album really, but he dropped like 30 something tracks.
Music to be Murdered to. Was that the name of
I don't know. It just came out like last week though. But Nas came out with an album. Busta Rhymes came out with an album.
King's Disease, Nas, that was a crazy album. That was up there for me. Man, I could run off my whole top 10 right now. Oh, man.
And you know what? I don't do that. But just give me the artists in your top. Don't like if you give me the top, what artists are in your top 10 albums for the year. Just give me
Big Sean.
Oh yes, I forgot about his album. Yeah, his album was dope. Absolutely.
Freddie Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
The Jay Electronica album.
Was that this year?
Yes.
That was last year.
That was this year.
Okay. I thought it was last year. Okay.
Conway.
A lot of that was Jay-Z though, wasn't it?
Both.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a Jay Electronica album, but it's Jay-Z. Conway. Trying to think. Who else? Who
I
else?
got
Who
I got
else?
one for you that I know is not on your list, and it's
Oh, you got.
K Slate put out an album not too long ago that was
Did he?
it was a mixtape, of course, but it was pretty. If you haven't checked that out, definitely check out K Slate's album. It was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Um,
And
but
and one that I know I'm pretty sure you didn't listen to it yet because once I say it, I know you're gonna go listen to it. Black Thought,
his album came out earlier this year, right? Or is it a new album?
Volume 3.
Yeah, I'll be listening to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that. Black Thought is one of my favorite
Uh,
MCs. Yeah,
Streams of Thought, Volume 3.
I'm definitely check that out. Definitely got to check that out. One thing that happened this year. Come on, camera, focus in on me. One thing that happened this year that we didn't even discuss that we're going to discuss this. The emergence of the versus battles. Okay, that has been a very, very big. That was very big. I think might have been one of the biggest things in the urban music scene of 2020.
See, and that's where I was going to go when I sent you moments,
Okay.
biggest moments of 2020. So we right on that same page.
We got to stop keeping secrets from each other when it comes. We always want to surprise each other with a topic, but then, you want to go into the moments then?
Yeah. Let's get started with the moments. The versus was huge for music and for
The urban music, absolutely.
entertainment during the pandemic, and it was huge for a lot of artists who hadn't been in the spotlight for a very long time.
Absolutely.
It squashed some beefs. It fueled our love of music again, because we can't get out to concerts, we can't get out to the shows, all of that stuff is gone. So the emergence of the verses was a huge moment for the culture, and it literally started with Swiss and Timbaland having a beat battle on Instagram. And I remember sitting there watching it, and I'm sharing it with everybody like, yo, y'all got to see this.
I remember you sent it to me. I remember.
Timbaland is one of my all-time favorite producers. I say he's one of my all-time favorite rappers. People don't like to call Timbaland a rapper, but Timbaland and Magoo albums, some of my favorite albums of all time. I don't care if they name Magoo the worst rapper in history, because it's not valid. Magoo is better than a lot of these cats out here right now today. But I remember that moment, and I'm like, yo, they were going through a hip hop catalog, and they were like, yo, you got a beat, I got a beat. Like, they went through 50, 60 songs. And I mean, they're on their phones. Swiss was in the car. Had his iPhone hooked up to the radio in the car. Timbaland is in his crib with his, he's at the computer, and they are doing this battle, and it was just a huge moment for the culture. And then nobody thought that it would take it to the height that it took it to. Now we're concluding the year with E40 and Short. Like, that was, and I'm not a West Coast music guy. I can't claim to be that guy. I know a lot about the East, I know a lot about the South, but the West Coast music is not my thing. But that battle was crazy, and it was music that I loved that I really didn't necessarily know came from the Bay, but it just showed the longevity of all of it. It was so crazy.
Absolutely. I for one, I don't know how it happened, but in the 90s, I was a bit of a West Coast music fan, West Coast hip hop fan. I don't know how that happened. I probably didn't even know that they were like in they were West Coast rappers, like, you know what I'm saying? But I was a fan of West Coast rap. E40, the Click. You remember the Click?
Yeah.
E40, Sugar T, and all them.
Sugar
Sprinkle Me. I used to get clown for it. Sprinkle Me was one of my favorite songs coming up. That was my favorite songs coming up. Too Short. I had a Too Short album. I don't even know how I came up with it. I think it was Life Is Too Short.
You had a Too Short album?
I didn't buy it. It was I inherited it somehow. So very early on, it was like whoa, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whoa, what is this? But the versus battle to me, one of my favorite battles in the versus battle. I call myself the R&B hippie sometimes. Um, it was Teddy Riley and Babyface, right? And I didn't really know, like going in, I'm like, well, how are they going to battle? How are they going to handle this battle? Teddy Riley and Baby, like, how is that going to be a battle, right? Like, because when I think of Teddy Riley, I think New Jack Swing, right?
Right.
Party joints. When I think of Babyface, I think of ballads. So
Yeah.
how does that battle work? But they made it work,
Right.
and surprisingly enough, and I don't know if maybe not everybody feels the same way about this, but I felt like Babyface won that battle. I did. Like Babyface was just pulling out joints. I was just like, wow. And I'm not here to argue with it or nothing, but I'm just like, just because he pulled out joints where I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And, because I already expected Teddy Riley, New Jack Swing, Party, it was going to be rocking. But when Babyface was able to even do the same thing, I was just like, damn, Babyface is that dude. I forgot how important Babyface was to the culture.
I feel like Babyface won the minute that we all realized that Teddy Riley was still using dial-up.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he was in America Online on that joint. The free joint. He probably still had the free demo.
He had the disc. You put the disc in. He was on hour 167 of 168 for free, and it started glitching up. Like I couldn't believe it. But another big moment for the culture, and I remember when my homegirl Naj sent it to me. Club Quarantine. DJ D-Nice.
He started an entire movement.
Man.
He started an entire movement. D-Nice took advantage. Okay, so here's the thing. And I don't know, somebody may have to let me know, right?
Right.
D-Nice did this thing on Instagram.
Right.
Black Thought. I'm not Black Thought, excuse me. Questlove. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Questlove was already doing that.
Questlove had been doing though, right?
Just on a different type platform, on a different type level, where it was almost more of an educational type.
Right. He was what Questlove was doing. He was pulling out music and to show you where samples came from.
Right.
Right. He was digging in the crates and saying, "Here's the original." And then he would DJ and mix it in with the new or newer sampled version. Right. And it was like, wow. But DJ D-Nice turned it into a full-on party.
You were in the club. You were at the club. You were in Club Quarantine.
Club Quarantine.
But here's the thing that made what D-Nice did amazing. Because when he was able to make that happen, right?
Right.
I mean, you saw Michelle Obama checking in. You saw Denzel checking in. You saw all types of people. Donald Trump might even been on it. I don't know. Donald Trump might even checked in because he was probably bored too. But anyway,
I don't think he had that kind of love.
I mean, we look. You saw Donald dancing right on stage.
Melania might have been on there
on the stage. You know what I'm saying? You know how he was dancing, but he created something that, I mean, he created a whole nother way for people to really be able to express their talent. But he did it at a time where like everybody was just like in the house board. It was at a time where they told you not to go outside because of the pandemic, not to go out unless you absolutely had to. Right. So everything was closed. You only went out to go to like the grocery store. They were closing the restaurant. They were closing everything. So he was able to, and I'm not saying he took advantage, but he was able to take advantage of the moment. And he was very innovative of what he did, and everybody was down. Now he still does it, and he probably doesn't get the same crowd that he does because I mean it's but he does. I've seen him do it in the morning, early in the morning because I'm up in the morning. I've seen him do it in the morning. I've seen him do it at night. Like he just randomly jumps on there. But shout out to D Nice and the whole club quarantine thing, you made the quarantine a lot. You
It was,
made the quarantine. You gave us something to do during the quarantine. Let's put it that way.
yeah,
You gave us something to do during quarantine. That was an amazing. That was very innovative of him. That was dope. That was really dope. And it gave people ideas like you and I of doing different things as well.
yeah. I mean, it was an inspiration for people who really had nothing to do. And I don't want to say nothing to do, but literally the entertainment was at a minimal for us because everything, it was at the very beginning of the shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was, at that point, the fear had kicked in and we had no idea when we were going to see daylight again. It was, when are we going to be able to go outside? You can't go outside unless you absolutely have to. People were scared that they were going to die if they came in contact with somebody who coughed. Like,
Yeah.
this really broke a lot of the tension for people. And it went on for months. I mean, it wasn't one of those things that just died off after one or
I mean,
two
it's still
part
it's
club
still. Oh,
quarantine.
I'm sorry.
It's yeah. But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
it
and
didn't
he's
just
still doing
die
it.
off. It's still rocking. And
So
it's
I don't. I'm sorry, cut because you
no,
know
no,
me.
you good.
Sometimes I just got to jump in there. I'll forget because I don't write
Yeah,
stuff
you
down.
good.
So just going through like Jazzy Jeff was doing something similar on YouTube.
Yeah.
We mentioned Questlove was doing this thing. Some of the other DJs out west would I can't think of their name. Oh doggone, I can't think of. Was it Scott Storch?
He's irrelevant to me. I don't know that guy. I
Uh,
mean, I know who he is, but
there was some people out west. I want to say I want to say Quick might have did a couple things.
okay.
DJ Quick might have and but you know, with all that being said, man, that was innovative. That was something that got a lot of us in this culture through a very tough time that we're really still kind of going through, and we're kind of falling back into what it was.
Yeah. We, and then I think, a lot of the social consciousness that came out, that was, I don't want to point to any one specific
Right now,
moment because there were so many. Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I good?
I hear you sound like something fell.
No. I don't know what you may have heard. I have no idea. Maybe it was on your end.
All right.
But there was so much that emerged from the social conscious this year, especially with the pandemic. It put a big spotlight on everything. The football team down in DC
The football team.
ditching their racially insensitive moniker.
In which the owner said they will never change the name. Just 2 years ago.
I mean, just prior to it changing, saying we would never change this.
But of course, you know what
then
happened.
the spotlight,
FedEx said, we're gonna pull our money.
The pressure. Nike pulled all Redskins apparel off of the website. They said we will not sell a product with this name attached to it. So y'all can do what y'all want. You can have a football team. You can call them the Redskins. You won't get any money. So now if we pull your apparel.
Or that, if you remember, I think it was 2018 or 2019, the copyright or the patent was pulled.
Yeah.
From the logo and the name.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So anybody could have made money off
it. At that point, it was going, you saw where the dominoes were going to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see the big corporate sponsor saying, hey, we no longer support this. FedEx said, we can't continue to push you guys under the Redskins moniker.
Mm-hmm. And the field is the stadium is
FedEx.
Yep.
They said, look, we can pull the licensing rights.
Mm-hmm. FedEx is gonna make their money.
You can lose that, and you see they making it right now in this pandemic.
We should get the post office the big dummy.
No, because that's all Trump. So Trump is the ultimate big dummy. I'm not even getting that.
Nah, that'd take forever.
But we see now it's trickling into baseball with the Cleveland Indians saying that they are going to change their name. You wonder if teams like the Atlanta Braves are going to follow suit. You wonder how far this is going to reach.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick.
Right.
We're both fans of baseball. Um, the Indians. Okay, so who? Okay, the Skins pulled their name, right? That
Right,
was
right,
obviously derogatory.
right.
I was under the impression because of what was presented that Indians itself. I always thought it was a little derogatory, but I thought maybe because it was a generalization and not a racialization. Sorry,
I mean,
that
I mean,
it wasn't as offensive. I mean, any bit of offensive is wrong, but I thought it that. But when you go to Braves, I thought Braves was actually well, you know what? I can't speak on that. I'm not. I'm
right.
not. I'm not of that. I really can't speak on
And
that.
that's where it fell for me because I remember when the Indians pulled Chief Wahoo,
I
and
remember
I
that.
get
Yeah,
it because the
that was
logo and the character was pretty bad.
that was
It
bad.
was offensive.
Absolutely.
Um, but when you get into the the Indians, just the name, the Indians, it's a
Here's why that might be.
generalization. But then you look at organizations like, would you pull the Celtics? Like, is
Yeah,
Celtic
if the Celtic people get offended by it.
right? And that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's where does how much offense has to be taken
Well, here's
before
another
something changes?
here's another one.
Because
The
clearly,
Chiefs. The
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs,
The people were offended by that, and I can remember the first time I remember. Um,
until they won a Super Bowl, then
well,
nobody was
well,
offended.
here's the first time I can remember seeing people being offended or people protesting. The
Right.
names of these teams was I believe it was 92 when the Skins and the Bills played each other in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I remember they're showing protests at the Super
Mark
Bowl. There were
Rippon.
they were showing um, Native Americans, indigenous people, the descendants of the original. The anyway, let me
It's
stop.
intelligent ignorance. You ain't got
Yeah,
to be
it's
all
intelligent.
political. It's our
The
show.
I can remember them seeing them protesting, and at the time I didn't really understand what the protest was about, so I didn't
Right.
understand, but I remember it stood out to me. Um, but the Skins had a very derogatory thing, but then it gets into like the Chiefs. Like I said, I didn't know Chiefs was offensive. I thought it was putting a light on the strength of, but like I said, I'm not one to speak on that because I'm not from that culture.
Right.
If you wanted, I'm not even going to give opportunity to have a team named something derogatory for black people. So I'm not even going to put something out there. But if you
Right.
name something derogatory towards black folks, I'm sure I would have it. I'm sure we all would have some type of offense to it for sure.
What did Ice Cube call the team in next Friday? The Rancho
The Cuca,
Cucamonga.
Cucamonga Cracker Killers. Yeah, that's what they would call it, Cucamonga Cracker Killers. And that was a funny scene actually. That was a real funny scene because that back and forth with him and Michael Rappaport in that scene it was very quick, but it was genius. And those little things in the movies, those are things that are like genius in movies like that. A few more moments that stood out, man. Like we said, the name changes of that football team that may mess around and win the NFC East. That would be crazy. That would be a
Let's
little
not
weird.
let's not let's not wish that on anybody. But I mean,
Well,
I guess
for
the
him to get
alternative
out
is
of
that the Cowboys or the Giants win it. So it's
yeah,
yeah.
I'm not looking for the
I,
Cowboys or the Giants to win it. So honestly, I'm rooting for my Birds this Sunday. But if they don't make it happen, I'm all right with it. I'm okay.
they yeah.
Season's over anyway. I don't care.
I want to see Jalen Hurts win one more before the year is over.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Some more things that have. What else happened this year? I mean, we got a long list to choose from. Our bandwidth isn't long enough to choose some of the moments.
Well,
But
my favorite moment is the elevation of the Negro leagues to the major league level, and we're still gonna save that one for 2021.
2021,
But
absolutely.
you know that was one of those moments for me, and it's recognition of the history of the game for what we contributed to it, and now leveling the playing field and acknowledging that our players were not less than.
Right.
They were equal to, and some were better,
And
hands down.
they were equal to and still not allowed to play.
And still couldn't touch the same fields.
You know what I've always wondered though? Dot, I always call you Dot sometimes on the show. I always wondered, like,
makes me think of a league of their own. Daddy.
Dottie, that's funny. I always thought, like, were white folks allowed to play in the Negro leagues? And like, could the opposite have happened?
No, and the Negro leagues had women. There were
Right.
there were women baseball players in the Negro League. The Negro League was inclusive long before it was okay to be inclusive. You know why? Because we weren't included in anything else. So why not allow these other disenfranchised people to join us? Like, come on. Like,
and one thing I
love the game, come love the game with us.
And one thing I want to say from a personal standpoint, I actually mentioned this to you yesterday. I want to mention it right now. There was a team. I grew up in Yeadon, Pennsylvania, just outside of a stone's throw outside of Philadelphia. Not even like you take one step, you're in Philadelphia. There was a Negro League team that played in Yeadon/Darby, Pennsylvania, the Hilldale Daisies. And where their field is, and I find this very interesting, where their field is, there is a swim club. The Yeadon Swim Club, which was a segregated swim club. Black folks were not allowed to be at that swim club. However, it's on land where a Negro League baseball team played, which in turn, I'm not going to give you the whole story, but you can look it up. In turn, created the Nile Swim Club, which is is the first black-owned, black-run swim club on the East Coast and maybe even the country, but definitely on the East Coast. In Yeadon, Pennsylvania. So I think it's crazy how there was a segregated swim club on the same grounds as where a Negro League baseball team played. So I always thought that was kind of interesting when I found that out. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on. And let me say this, because I know my dad watches. I've been to my dad's house at least 4 times since we did our last show when we mentioned the Negro Leagues.
Right.
And he gave me a picture that he has, and he actually had it hanging up in his basement / man cave of Jackie Robinson. And he gave it to me. Right. He said he was watching the show and he wanted to give me that picture because he's like what we were saying and all like that. Every time I've been over there, and I've been over there the last 3 days. Today was the first day I've been over the last few days because we're helping them with some stuff. I forgot that picture. And I looked at it yesterday. I was like, I got to grab that picture. And every single time I walk right past the picture and I'm getting that picture.
Tonight.
I can't. I got to work tonight. But I'm getting that picture before.
I'll go pick it up.
I'm going to get that picture before too late. I'm definitely going to get it.
I'll go pick it up. Tell your dad I'm coming to get it.
he probably like, yeah, here. He don't want it here. Give it to me.
I was about to say, hand it to me.
But yeah, so much in 2020 that we could talk about. I know that, so much we don't want to mention, so much we do want to mention that could take forever. Some of the movies that came out this year.
Man, the one, and it just came out, and I don't care what anybody says, my favorite movie of the year, Soul.
I haven't watched it yet. Don't
man, bruh, you gotta watch it. I don't care if you take off work tonight. I mean, not take off work, but if it's not too busy,
Well, I'll tell you, one of my favorite movies that I watched this year was Safety. If you had a chance to see that movie.
I saw it. I did.
That was a really good movie.
I was pleasantly surprised. I'll say that much. I didn't think that it was going to be as good of a movie as it was.
Mm-hmm. I can't even think of some of the movies I saw this year.
You know what movie confused me to no beyond?
What was that?
Tenet.
I haven't
Did you
watched
watch it? So
actually the previews of that movie did not interest me. So the only reason I would have watched the movie is because Denzel's son was in it. But
it
I wasn't
it
interested.
was a good movie. I will say that it was a good movie. You ever watched Inception, right?
It was one of my favorite movies.
So if you liked Inception, you
Mm,
will like Tenet,
okay.
but you have to follow it closely because
So I'll have to watch it 3 or 4 times.
yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot going on in the movie, and I was like, wow, it was a lot going on in that movie,
Yeah,
but it was a good movie. It was definitely a good movie.
all right.
It's just hard to think of a lot of stuff because there was no movie theaters this
Yeah,
year.
a lot of things came out on streaming services, and if you're not applied or subscribed to these streaming services, you missed out. Like for instance, Wonder Woman. I haven't watched that yet, and I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on that, and most of them have been bad.
Hmm.
Majority of the Wonder Woman reviews have been bad, and it's 3 hours. I don't feel like sitting in front of TV for 3 hours.
It was okay. It wasn't the first one.
I was about to say wasn't as good as because the first one was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't the first one. Did you watch Antebellum? I think we had this
No,
conversation before.
you told me not to waste my time, so I never
I,
watched.
I think we had that conversation before. Antebellum was one of those ones that I wouldn't have paid to watch. Um, Extraction. I really, really, really liked Extraction. It was a Netflix original. Um,
I don't think I saw that.
what is my man's name? Um, Thor. What's his name?
His real name Helmsworth or something.
Yes.
Helms,
So
something Helmsworth.
not Helmsley.
Not
Yeah,
Helmsworth.
Um, Chris
Chris Helmsworth. There you
Helmsworth.
go. Yeah.
So he's in it. Really good movie. I
Mhm.
absolutely love that movie. There was a lot of Netflix movies that came out this year that I absolutely loved. A lot of shows that I probably never would have watched that you know, due to a pandemic, you get to see a lot of things. I watched October Faction, one of my favorite shows. Um, if you have the Investigation Discovery Channel, shameless plug, make sure you're watching True Conviction. The new season launches tomorrow. I will be on.
When are
Uh,
you on? Do you know
my
yet?
episode is February 17th.
That's when I will watch.
February 17th. But I mean, it's a good show. It's actually a really good show. I just finished watching all of season 2. Season 3 launches tomorrow. So Investigations Discovery has a new fan in myself. If you have Comcast, it's channel 899. Make sure you check it out. February 17th. Shameless plug. Um, but yeah, make sure you watch Soul as soon as you get a chance.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not like during your work hours because you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. I know you. You're gonna cry.
I ain't
You're gonna cry. But it's it now you finally get to see.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I shed a couple tears at the end of 42.
See. So I know you're gonna cry. But see now that was a
That one hit
baseball.
home. Yeah, that one hit.
Right.
Yeah, that one hit home a little more.
That was I mean shit. I cried during Finding Nemo. So it is what it is. I'm a
Okay,
dad. It's
I
just
get it.
it's one of those things for me. Um, but Soul, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, you're gonna shed a couple tears.
It's a tear
But
jerker.
it's
Okay.
it's interesting to see now the level of representation for us in movies and
Mhm.
how accepted it is. And this is a full on representation of our community down to the barbershop and the tattoos and the
Here's a question for you,
yeah.
I'm asking your opinion on this. And the people that, if you're watching, you can chime in on this question too. Be it if you're white, black, or red all over. Um, we've talked many times on this show and other shows that movies that come out that are produced, created, or directed or acted by majority of white folks have always been seen as movies that everybody can go see, whereas the black folk productions by black folks have been deemed
Pandered for us.
as folks that were I mean movies that were for black people, not necessarily for everybody. Are we moving into a space where do you feel like we're moving into a space where movies that are um, majority black are going to be seen as for everybody, or are we still fighting to get that to be to are we still fighting to get that I don't want to call it a stigma, but that black movies are for only black people? Are we getting rid
We'll
of
we'll still continue to fight that, but I think now, especially in the social conscious of 2020, where you see in the past you didn't see people that weren't persons of color standing up for us. Now you see that. You see white people, you see Asian people, you see gay and lesbian people on the front lines with us saying, come
that's
together.
a whole nother story.
Yeah,
That's a
but
whole but
now it is,
but I know what you're saying.
but now that acceptance is the new norm,
Hmm.
it's more widely accepted than it was a decade ago.
Oh,
And
for
it's
sure.
it's it's
For sure.
crazy to say that there was still minimal acceptance for people of color in 2010. We're
Mhm.
looking at 2020 now, and it's. I was just having the conversation with my man Chuck yesterday, and I said it's still interesting
What you
that
say
we
now,
can
Chuck?
say it's still interesting to say in 2020 and headed into 2021 where you can start a sentence with the first black. Like it's amazing that you can still say the first black anything at this point.
Yeah.
We were talking about my role in one of the previous organizations where I said I was the first black leader in the organization's history. And it's like in 2020, you're still saying the first black anything?
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's crazy.
you
It's
would have thought that the end of the first black would have been the president of the United States. But
right.
now we're still becoming the first black to do something here now. And that's it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Well, and it's funny because once you hit that peak, like, oh, well, they got a black president now. So, well, now you can accept a few more of these things that we didn't accept before
Mhm.
because we've had a black man at the highest point. So now you have no reason to say that a black man can't do these other things. It's just like now we got to well, I mean, he'll be our president for another, what, 20 days. But we had a reality TV show guy leading the free world.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so who's to say that I can't apply for the CEO job? The
Right.
qualifications no longer matter.
Hmm.
You
Well,
took
they
a
do
guy
matter. They don't matter if you're rich.
you took a guy from reality TV and said he's qualified enough to be the next president, but I can't be the shift manager at McDonald's without a degree. What?
Think about it. Think about how these things go.
What?
These things go like that. Things go like
Man. But before we wrap it up, because it's almost been an hour already, man, time flies. What's the one thing you want to leave in 2020, man?
the the one thing I want to leave in 2020 is honestly wow, I don't even know how to say it, but I want to leave behind um I really want to leave behind the social bias. We've been talking about almost the whole show about how people have come together and all like that.
Right.
I want to leave behind the I want to leave behind the ununifiedness, if I can create that word,
The
of
lack of
of
unity,
people.
the lack
Yes,
of unity between
exactly.
people. I
If
get
you
what
want
you're
to put
saying.
it in if you want to put it in those terms, yes.
I get what you're saying.
The lack of unity of people, I really want to I want to leave that behind, but more so I want to leave behind the fact that that people see love for one's culture as hate for another culture.
Right.
That's something I really want to leave behind. If I say Black Lives Matter, I don't need to hear All Lives Matter because I already know that.
Right.
If I want to if I say I only want to shop at black owned stores, I don't want to. I don't want to catch flack for that because the majority of my life I've been shopping at places that were owned by people that didn't look like me.
Right.
So I've been spending my money in those places for the longest time. One thing, I'm going to put it right here on the show. I want to say this. I want to so he said that. He said that's a word. All right, it's a word. I said it, so it exists now. One thing that I wanted to do, and I wanted to put it out, and I didn't know how or when I wanted to put it out there, but I'm going to do it right here on Intelligent Ignorance. We're in the midst of Kwanzaa right now. One of the things about Kwanzaa is you make gifts with your hands. You make
Right.
them. You make the gifts and give them
Right.
to people. And I don't know who's doing that. I don't know if there's any of that going on, but I would almost like to. I want to say change it because I don't have the authority to change anything about Kwanzaa, but I would almost like to change it to you shop at black owned businesses for Kwanzaa, right? As opposed to creating it, you shop at black owned businesses and help to support your community in that way. And you can celebrate Kwanzaa that way. That can be, one of the things there. It could be a shift in the in the thought process there. Um, so that's just something to think about for the folks. Maybe we can, next year, or maybe we, starting next holiday season, or starting in January, buying things from black owned. If you want to celebrate Kwanzaa, celebrate it by buying from black owned businesses, supporting black owned businesses, supporting black owned radio stations, supporting black owned independent media. Just because especially when it's an independent media, you're getting unbiased stories. Okay,
Right.
so just think about it like that. When you buy from a black owned shop, as a black person, you're supporting your own community. If you're not black and you shop black owned, you're supporting a community that has probably supported your community for decades, right? Centuries maybe. And it's not a race thing, it's just a humanity thing. I would love to see us supporting each other more. So to answer your original question that you asked me 5 minutes ago, um, I would like to leave the behind the whole. You're looked down upon for loving your own people. I don't care if you what race you are. Because a lot of times, you know, I was thinking about it yesterday, right? If a white person is proud to be white, that's kind of frowned upon too, if you think about it. Because when if a white person comes to you and says, "I'm proud of my people," that you automatically, I see it in your face right now. You automatically think of the things that happen to black people by white people,
Well,
and
no,
you think like you can't be proud of that.
so where I was going to go is that those things are already celebrated. We have holidays for those people, and like the Irish. Now, granted, the Irish, I don't generally associate Irish with the oppression of black people. I mean, I'm sure there's some strange, odd way that people would try to loop it all in, but we have holidays and we go out and we drink and we celebrate and drink because I'm Irish and St. Patrick's
I've
Day.
never done
And shit, I do. I go to the St. Patrick's Day loop, bruh. I
yeah, I know a
ain't
lot of people
ashamed to
that
do
do
it.
it. I know
I
a
ain't
lot of people
ashamed
that
to
do
do
it.
it.
I've never done it.
But we celebrate it and we celebrate it with them. So
Mhm.
I've never been one to say now the only people who I do have any issue with that celebrate being white are the ones who celebrate being white while demeaning others, like those that are in the KKK. They celebrate their whiteness
Mhm.
while demeaning everybody else. So it's there to assert their dominance over other groups.
Right.
And but when we have days like St. Patrick's Day, I'm right out there and I say, look, I'm Black Irish. My name Ryan is an Irish name. It
Right.
it is what it is.
It
So
is.
I get out there, I celebrate right along with them. I ain't got no problem with it.
Yeah,
Now I
I've never
won't
done it.
celebrate Columbus Day, but
Yeah, I don't celebrate Columbus Day.
I-
I've never celebrated St. Patrick's Day for the simple fact that I just never felt like it was for me to celebrate. Like, what am I celebrating? I don't even know what St. Patrick's Day is really about. It's almost kind of like Valentine's Day.
Alcohol. That's all.
But
That's all.
but okay, so
St.
and I know
Patrick's Day
we're
and
supposed to be
Cinco,
wrapping. Here's
and
the thing.
Cinco de Mayo. I mean,
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick because I know we're supposed to be wrapping up, but think about this. In a sense, celebrating St. Patrick's Day by getting drunk as a skunk
Right.
is in itself demeaning to the Irish, saying that the Irish, all the Irish do is get drunk. Like, think about that. But I mean, but they're out there doing it themselves. Like, they're out there doing it. But just to celebrate the Saint, like, I have no idea what St. Patrick's Day is about. None. But all I know is people go out and get drunk as they can. They got buses that go around the city that allows people to get drunk as they can. Listen, I've spent some time on a college campus. I've been an adult for a very long time. I've had my share of adult beverages. Getting drunk as a skunk ain't fun to me no more. I'm just saying. Wasting a whole weekend because I did something Friday night. It's not fun to me anymore. And when you're at my age, you get drunk as a skunk on Friday, your whole weekend is ruined.
So so I'll enlighten you a little bit because I just had to do some research.
Thank you. Please.
St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of St. Patrick, is a cultural and religious celebration held on the 17th of March, the traditional death date of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. The holiday has evolved into a celebration of Irish culture with parades, special foods, music, dancing, drinking, and green.
We? Oh, the color green.
The color. Jesus Christ.
I've never heard nobody talk about green on St. Pat, but yes, the green, color green. Yeah.
Not that green.
Well, listen, when you listen,
okay. We have to be
the way you said it and looked at me, I was just like, green? Like, I've never heard anybody about smoking marijuana on St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, my wife was laughing at me about that one. So,
yeah.
Wow. But look, you got to understand how you just said that to me. He was like, whatever you said, and green. You didn't say, and the color green. You said, and green.
I was reading it. So, I mean,
how
it was written. You know?
Because I was about to say, that's news to me. I've never. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, that's all well and good, right? The death of St. Patrick, who I don't even know who St. Patrick is. The
foremost patron saint of Ireland.
Right, you just said that. I don't even know what that means.
I mean, he's a patron saint. He's a saint. I don't know. Saint. He's a saint. Mother Teresa, sainthood. I mean, he's a saint. I don't know what he did, but it's a religious celebration, and it's a feast. The Feast of St. Patrick, which means food, drink, be merry, celebrate, feast. So they just following in tradition.
Okay.
And I need a Shamrock Shake. That's all. I just go get the Shamrock Shakes from McDonald's. Do they still do Shamrock Shakes?
I think they only in March though. I think they do.
Yeah, I mean it's only in March. I don't remember seeing
one.
I love Shamrock Shakes.
I've had one and it was delicious. I can't believe I never went back and had another one. I've had one.
I love
actually
Shamrock
pretty good.
Shakes.
What is it? Mint? Like I don't even remember what it is, but
yeah.
it was delicious. I'm gonna have one this year.
It's winter green.
It's delicious. It's spearmint flavor, double mint. What do you want to leave? What do you want to leave in 2021?
I'll end it off on a lighter note because you got real heavy on the folk.
You know why? I'm sorry. Because that really bothers me, the fact that happens. But I'm gonna just leave it at that and let you have the floor.
We'll bring that back in 2021 because I know it'll be back. So I know we're gonna talk about it. But what I want to leave behind in 2020 is the word toxic. I'm so sick of people saying, "Oh, you're toxic. He's toxic. She's toxic. 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 Toxic." Everybody's toxic.
But that's like a regular word, though.
But it is every year we get that one word that just gets so.
Usually, it's like a made up word
and overhyped, and it's like really, like, come on, like, let's stop with the toxic. If anybody wants to use a word in 2021, use the word accountability. Take some accountability for your actions. You're not toxic, you're just not mature. Like, really, like, there are some behavior, and we label behaviors and traits toxic. And what may be considered toxic for one is not toxic for another, because acceptable behavior is learned. I could get into a whole psychoanalysis, but let's leave the word toxic in 2020. Let's leave the word Trump in 2020. Let's leave
Leave the word Trump in 2020.
let's leave $600 stimulus checks in 2020. Let's leave never mind, I wasn't going to say that. But make sure if you have I'm not going to say that because I know it's intelligent ignorance, but I'm not going to be ignorant today because we're ending off the year right, and my ignorance may be labeled toxic. So I'm not going to do it. So let's throw away the word toxic. We're not carrying that toxic energy into 2021, that toxicity. We're not bringing the toxicity into 2021. We are bringing accountability and fixing. Mental acuteness, mental awareness is cool. Don't be afraid to get mental help. Go see a psychologist. Go see a psychiatrist. Go
say that.
Go see a
say
therapist.
Say that again.
Like,
so especially in our community, say that.
For real, it is so cool to just get help. You can get it from anywhere. See a therapist. Make an appointment. Hold on. I put that up there on the screen because I just said I was about to come get that. I know.
Now I know that. For $1,000. I was going to give him $1,001. Price is right.
Price is wrong, Bob. The price is wrong.
Yo, totally random thing here. And I don't know if I actually told you about this or not. Bob Barker hosted this Price is Right episode of Price is Right this year.
There's no way. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Look it up because they were talking about it on the radio one day. About a month. He hosted an episode of Price is Right this year. I think it was supposed to air on April 1st because it was supposed to be an April Fool's thing, but the pandemic happened. So it was filmed in February.
Wow.
But it was supposed to air on April 1st.
That's crazy.
And I want to watch it because I haven't really watched Price is Right since Bob Barker left the show. It's not the same for me.
It's definitely not the same. We still have another week of seeing Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. I want to say the final.
I don't even know if it's a week because they ended.
I think it's this week because
I think
they pushed it back. It was supposed to be Christmas, and then I think they pushed it back 2 weeks.
I can't watch that. I can't watch the last one. I just can't.
I gotta watch it again. I know that I will shed some tears. It is what it, because again, it's the end of that era for me, and I'm a nerd. I grew up on Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, so it was my goal. His final episode airs on Friday, January 8th.
Wow. Okay.
But I grew up a trivia nerd and a puzzle nerd.
I love it.
So for me, I spent the last 30 years watching Alex Trebek, and I am a wealth of random worthless knowledge because of Jeopardy. It made it cool.
She's gonna be mad that I say this, but my wife and I would at times compete in Jeopardy, and let's just say I was pretty good, okay, and very good. I would never be a contestant on Jeopardy, but I probably might get like $600 if I went on Jeopardy. And let's just say I didn't get anything wrong, but my wife and I will watch it and compete at it sometimes, and I'm not. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna make her mad, but I feel like watching it from I can't watch the end of Alex Trebek. I can't.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it. For me, I guess it's a little bit of closure. I already know he's
been
gone.
hard. It's been hard for me to watch since
we knew that he's
passed
already
away.
passed.
It's been
Right.
hard for me to watch. To be honest with you, like just to see him up there and know that it's like countdown to the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like it's close to knowing a family member is coming to the end. It's like he's not family, but he's been in your house for the
He's
last
been
30
in
years.
your house for 30 years, and it's
Exactly.
every Monday through Friday is I'm watching Jeopardy, and I'm watching Wheel of Fortune on ABC after the news. Like
Mhm.
that was the ritual.
Right.
We watch that news, and it rolls right into Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that was the routine for me. And it's crazy to see how that routine is now changing when
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm gonna say
No.
real quick. Next host of Jeopardy. Who you want to see be the next host?
LeVar Burton.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think that would be when I first saw that. I said that would be really dope.
I signed the petition. I signed the petition.
I think that would be really dope to see LeVar Burton host, and he said he's down for it too.
And he said he would do it. I'm
down for
very interested to see.
And
if
how
that
funny
comes
is
to
that?
fruition.
How funny is it that would almost be like full circle for people in our age group?
Right.
He kind of raised us with the Reading Rainbow,
Reading
and
Rainbow.
now he would be the people that would be competing on Jeopardy would be like the people that was watching him on Reading Rainbow. It'd be kind of crazy.
Right.
So that would be interesting. But I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We've been going over an hour. I really want to keep going, to be honest with you. I want to
look, man. As much
do.
as I want to, I know we gotta say goodbye to 2020. We gotta bring in the new year the right way. Last thing, and I know we actually hate doing this. You got any resolutions for the new year?
So I don't remember what year it was. I think it was 2 years ago. I had a New Year's resolution for. Hold on, maybe you could. This is funny. The black version of the Jeopardy. And that's a good skit too. That black version of Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, definitely check that out. It's pretty funny.
They owe Dave Chappelle for that. Give Dave Chappelle his check. What was the show that he did on Chappelle Show? What was the name of the show when they asked finish the lyrics to Good Times? The theme song.
It was Jeopardy, wasn't it?
It was.
No, they didn't call it Jeopardy.
It was called Ask a Black Person.
No, that was the that might have been, but that was the
Was it called Ask a Black Person? No, that was
the man that used to do the writing for Richard Pryor.
That was
Paul Mooney. That was Paul Mooney. That was the Paul Mooney.
Yeah. What was the name of the Jeopardy style show that they did?
I don't know, but that finished the lyric, the Good Time. That was genius because nobody knew what the hell they were saying in that thing hanging in. I didn't know what they were saying. I watch it all the time. Resolutions. I remember a couple years ago, I said my resolution for everybody that could see it was don't block your blessings. And that's always that's my resolution for everyone. Don't block your blessings. There's a lot of things out there that you can be doing to block your blessings. You being, you looking at somebody, for instance, if somebody's watching us and they want to be where they want to be on the show and they're not on the show and don't block your blessings, earn your spot. Get your education, get your practice on. You don't block your blessing because you might have the blessing of being the next big thing. You might be the next Russ Parr, Wendy Williams, Ricky Smiley, whatever the case may be. Don't block your blessings. Get out there and go after it. But that's my resolution for everyone else. For me, My resolution is going to be, and I hate New Year's resolution. You said that, but my New Year's resolution is I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to say I'm going to take better care of myself in 2021. Not that I don't take care of myself now, but I'm just going to do. I'm going to do more of it. I'm going to be conscious of the things that I say, the things that I do, the places I go, the things that I eat, drink, um, whatever the case, the time that I give myself to do things, so I'm not stressed out. I'm going to attempt to take better care of myself in 2021. Now,
Man,
since you asked me that question, I got to ask you. Put it on your plate.
well, my wish for everyone is, and it's very simple. It's to be used, and I don't mean it in a derogatory sense. But if you can't be used, you're useless. To use is necessary. Just don't let people use and abuse you until you're all used up. But it's a very necessary. We have to be able to be used and just be kind. We've seen in this global pandemic how fragile life is and how fragile the human mental is. Being locked away. I'm not locked away, and I hate to say it that way, like we're just shackled in, but without the normal interaction that we've always been accustomed to, I think it's easy for us to not be kind to people because we're so caught up in the what if. If like, don't you can't be overly protective. Don't make the negative face when somebody coughs or sneezes or they sniffle. Like, we have to learn to be kind to people.
Like
uh,
you.
because everybody, right, because
That joint
everybody,
sounds snotty. I'm giving them a look. I don't care.
like people,
Pandemic or not.
people treat a cough like a death sentence now. And it was funny because, again, I was having the conversation yesterday where it was a newspaper headline and it said, the United States has reached the point where it's 1 in 1,000 in terms of death for the coronavirus. And I said, well, that's interesting. I said, but if you think about the inverse of that number, 999 out of 1,000 people survive. So,
But you know what?
think of
gotta
it.
be careful. You gotta be careful with that because the people that don't want to wear masks are the ones that use that statistic too.
Well, and I get it, but we still have to obviously take a measure of protection, and we have to do the right things because you don't want to be the cause of that one, and you don't want that one to be somebody close to you.
Right.
So I'm not a fan of the whole not wearing a mask thing. I wear my mask religiously. I wear it because I want to protect those around me. My sister, she has pre-existing health conditions. She's susceptible to virus, and I would hate to be somebody who comes around and passes this along to her, or anybody in my family. And it's just one of those things where we still have to understand that we have to be kind to people, whether we don't want to or not, because we don't know what they're going through in their daily lives. And for me personally, it's to get back on giving to myself. I've done so much, especially in 2020, in giving to others, that I almost poured a lot from an empty cup, because I gave so much of me to others. I started the nonprofit organization. We did so much work in the community last year for youth. We launched the team at the school. We did the uniforms for the kids. We got all brand new equipment. We did a few of the races. We did a few events. It was so much of pouring from me into others and not enough of pouring back into myself. So 2021 is self-care for me, making sure that I can still take care of others, but take care of myself as a priority as well. Absolutely. So I got to be selfish in 2021. I have to make sure that I'm able to take care of me so I can then take care of others.
Absolutely, and that's a beautiful way to put it. Beautiful way to put it. It's not really being selfish. It's making sure that you're where you need to be, so you can help others be where they need to be as well. And that's very commendable.
Right.
All right. So look, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We want to thank everybody for joining us
90
here
minute
on
show.
saying goodbye. Saying goodbye to 2020. We're gonna say goodbye to this banner because 2020 is almost gone. And for Mr. R. Hunter and myself, we want to thank y'all for joining us. And
Yes.
big things coming next year. So definitely stay tuned. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get your financial education on because we got some financial education coming your way. Definitely want to do the. Yeah, I'm hoping you didn't hear that, but we definitely got some things
Yeah, I
coming your
called you.
way.
Your name was.
We got some things coming your way that you definitely want to be a part of, and like I said, support independent media because we're here for you to bring you the things that you that are relevant in your life. So, with all that being said, like I said, thank you again for joining us on Intelligent Ignorance. Make sure you're here with us next year because you didn't even see that, did you? Oh, you did see it. She's just gonna pop in.
We go.
She's gonna pop in on me, but we definitely you can catch her on Sunday nights at the 10/7 show at 7 o'clock here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe for that too. With all that being said, we're gonna get out of here. We'll talk to y'all next time. We love y'all for loving us. Peace.
Peace.